Hello and welcome back to part 3 of this 3-part training series called Fitness Studio Marketing. And my name is Mike Arce. I'm the CEO and founder of Loud Rumor. We are an agency for fitness studios throughout the entire world. We work with over 1,000 studios from the US to Hong Kong to Australia and beyond. I'm also the author of Fitness Marketing Secrets, How to Destroy Your Competition in the Fitness Industry. And actually, we're giving away free copies of this book. So everybody watching, you want to go to fitnessmarketingsecrets.com to go and grab your copy. And I'm also the host of Top Fitness Business Podcast, The GSD Show. Today, we're going to be covering the third part of this 3-part training series for fitness studio marketing. And we're going to actually be covering some more advanced stuff. So for those of you guys that didn't watch 101 or 102 yet, don't feel like you have to go watch 101 or 102 in order to really get a lot of value out of today. You don't. What I am saying is that these things are very, very powerful. They're a little bit more difficult to implement than the stuff that you learned in 102 and 101. However, still very easy to implement considering all the availability that we have to us and how easy technology has made things today for marketers. So we're going to go ahead and cover all that today. The first thing I want to really cover is something that I've started learning from the greats in marketing. I'm also the host of a show called The GOAT Show. GOAT stands for Greatest of All Time, and I interview people that are arguably the greatest of all time in what they do. And one thing that I've learned from these people, and not just the CEOs that I've got to interview, but CEOs like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Richard Branson, when you take a look at these guys, one thing that they all have in common is not only do they run really great companies, but they all have a really great grasp on marketing. They understand it, they appreciate it, and they actually have joy. They get joy out of diving in and finding ways to get attention, bang their own drum, and really get their customers to know who they are, what they do, and where they do it. And so what we're going to be talking about today is how people like that have been able to do it, how you can do it too, and how I've been able to do it in my industry as well. And so it's this idea called omnipresence. And the first time I actually heard the term was when I got to interview a guy named Grant Cardone. If you guys haven't heard of Grant Cardone, he is known as the world's greatest sales trainer. He has a couple companies that are doing over a few $100 million in revenue. He is omnipresent. He is everywhere. He's got millions of followers, and he has an event coming up where it's got like 30,000 people attending the event. It's the biggest business event in the world, and you can't have an event like that unless you become omnipresent. Now, for those of you guys that are watching it or fitness studios, you may be thinking, all right, well, I definitely don't need 30,000 people to be at an event. I can't even fit that many people anywhere that I have right now. It's not about that. It's the idea of how do I do that in a small scale? How do I become omnipresent in this 5-mile radius where I want every person that fits a demographic to come and work out at my studio? Every single one, as much as I can fit, I want to have those in there. So step 1 is we want to make sure that everyone in your community knows who you are. That's step 1. So the first thing we're going to kick off with is KLT. KLT, that's not a sandwich. That's an acronym for know, like, and trust. So we want to make sure that people, number 1, know who you are, because they can't like you if they don't know who you are and that you exist. So first thing is they got to know who you are. The next step is we got to get them to like you, and then they can't trust you until they like you. I want you to think of somebody that you just don't like at all, right? Chances are you don't trust them. It's very hard to like somebody that you don't trust. You can't laugh at their jokes. You don't find them funny. If you don't trust somebody, they're just not humorous to you, and they really bring very little joy to you. Vice versa, if you think somebody that you trust more than anyone in the whole world, maybe it's your mom, you probably laugh at things that she does even when she doesn't want to be funny. She just does her normal stuff, and you just find everything she does is cute and funny, and that's because you trust her more than anyone in the world, and you feel like you know her to the core. And so what we want to do is be able to create that in your community, and all the prospects that could come and work out at your studio, we want them to first know who you are. We want them to then like who they're starting to know, and then we want them to like you so much that they start to develop a trust. And now that you have their trust, it's a lot easier for them. It almost feels like the only logical thing to do for them to choose you over the other people in the area that they don't know, like, or trust the way they do with you. So we want to make sure we develop that omnipresence. Now, omnipresence is really great, not just to get more customers directly, but indirectly, it's extremely powerful because you can get a lot of partners that you wouldn't be able to get without that omnipresence. So I want you to consider this scenario. Imagine that you have, let's say you're a fitness studio owner and you have a massage studio that says to you, man, I've got a lot of people that I can refer to you. People are always coming to me, and they're saying they got aches and pains, and I always recommend that they need to get in a really good fitness routine. I just don't have anybody to recommend them to. I can send over a bunch of business. Would you be open to that? Now, right away, you're probably thinking, yeah, that sounds really great. Now, what if you have another person that says the exact same thing? Okay, so you got two massage therapists. Both of them want to refer you business, but you can only pick one. Let's just say for this example, you can only pick one. This one here, you've never really heard of. You've never seen anything about them, their logo, their brand, everything about it seems very unfamiliar to you. You don't think you've ever even seen their studio driving by. Now, this person, on the other hand, you feel like every time you go on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you go, they seem to somehow be there already, and they're giving really great tips, and they seem to be doing great things in the community, and they seem to be everywhere all the time, no matter where you go. Now, you can only pick one person to choose as your referral partner. Are you going to pick the one that you've never seen before, or are you going to pick the one that you seem to see everywhere you go? Chances are, if you're logical, you're going to pick the one that seems to be everywhere, and you pick it for the same reason I pick it, and anybody else with a sane mind would, because you'd assume that this person has more things working. They've got more business happening, more activity, because you understand that if this is happening, if they're everywhere all the time, then you are naturally assuming that they have to have a lot of business coming in, right? For two reasons. One, you can't afford that. Well, that's what a lot of people think. You can't afford that type of advertising unless you've got good business. And number two, you can't do that type of marketing and not get more people coming in the door. Whereas this, it's kind of like a dead nail. So now that we know that, we think, how can I use that for myself? Well, if I'm constantly everywhere all the time in my 5-mile radius, not only am I going to be in front of my prospects, but I could also be in front of my prospective partners and affiliates and people that can actually send me business, which they're going to want to do, knowing the law of reciprocity means if I start sending you business, you can start sending me business. And selfishly, they start becoming selfless in this relationship, right? But that's the idea. So it helps in all angles to be everywhere all the time and showing people what you do, where you do it, and how you do it. So the next step, in order, now we have this down, the next step in order to fulfill this plan is we have to know who we're going to be creating content for and who we're going to be talking to with all of our, whether they're ads, whether it's helpful content, value content, that type of stuff, and we'll get into that here in a minute. Who are we talking to? So first you want to do what's called create your customer avatar or buyer persona. There's several different names, it means the same thing. Ultimately, the simplest form is, do you have a customer or a couple customers that you would multiply over and over and over again if you could and have your studio filled just with that type of person? You're probably thinking of a person or two right now that you're like, yeah, this person, 100%. I wish everyone was like this person or these few people. If that's the case, then we got to define what makes them them. Is it a certain age? Is it a gender? Combination? What do they do for a living? What kind of experience level do they have? What are their goals? What are their ambitions? How hard do they work? Are they already knowledgeable coming into this with certain things on nutrition? Or are they total new novices in this whole world? Whatever it is, right? Really define them out and draw them out so that you can say, there you go, I've accurately defined our customer avatar. And once you've defined that person or those 2 or 3 people, very rarely do you have more than 3. Usually it's 1 to 3. Now that you've defined that, every time you're making a video, you're making a video for that person. Every time you write a blog, you're writing a blog for that person. If you're running an ad, you're running an ad for that person. So right now, the person that I'm talking to is Daniel Neary and Joanne Spencer. Those are our 2 customer avatars. And if they're watching right now, which they probably are, because that's what makes them them, they watch our content and they actually implement things. They're really good business owners and operators. They're not hearing this for the first time. They know that they're a customer avatar. Now, Daniel and Joanne are a little different. Daniel is, guy wakes up at 4 a.m. every morning, reads for 2 to 3 hours on business before he even starts his day, doesn't eat on Mondays just so he can get more work done. He goes to conferences. He has many different podcasts that he listens to. He has his own podcast. He reads tons of books. He does all this stuff. He is a hungry student, right? Now, he cares about his customers for sure, but his strongest characteristic is he is a learning junkie and he implements. And that's why he's so successful. The guy's done a remarkable job just over the last 2 years, went from 1 to 8 locations, And on top of that, he got on a Netflix documentary with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's working with NASA on the project. The guy's just doing incredible things. But then you got Joanne Spencer. Now, Joanne Spencer is not necessarily a person that's starving for knowledge and wants to implement immediately like Daniel, but Joanne is just super caring, loves her customers, loves what she does for them, is so involved with them in their personal lives. She has a relationship with every one of them. But on top of that, she's very accountable. She always takes accountability and asks, what could I do better first before pointing the finger? And that makes her also a really great person for me to work with. These two people are ideal. And so whenever I'm making content, I'm making it for these two people. So for you, think about that. So when you're making your content, you're not making it for a wide array of people that may or may not be your ideal customer. You want to make it for that right person. Because if you're going to put out bait, you want to put out bait that catch the fish you want to eat. You don't want to put out bait for fish that, unfortunately, the only fish that eat that bait are fish that you actually don't want to see in your studio. So that's the way you want to think about your content. So now that you know that, go create your customer avatar, your buyer persona, what makes them them, and then we're going to move on to the next step. So now that we've got the next step, we've got to create your content. So now what is it that's interesting for those people? Well, right now, like I said, with Daniel, he loves to learn new stuff, right? And he wants to make sure that he can implement these things. And so everything in this video is perfect for people that love to learn new stuff and are going to implement. It's also really good for Joanne because you're going to see that a lot of what I talk about is value and getting in front of people and getting them to know, like, and trust you. And that's what Joanne is best at. So this whole video is made for them. Now for you, I want you to think about who your target is. Maybe you're going after the young mother of toddlers, maybe in her young 30s, right? She's 30 to 34 years old. You say, okay, this is perfect. If I can get mothers of toddlers in their early 30s, have a general understanding of fitness and nutrition. They were pretty in shape before they had kids, but now they're like kind of losing touch with it and they got to find a way to get it back. Okay, let's say that's your person. How do you create content that for them gets them to stop what they're doing, to watch it or read it or listen to it and just basically pay you their attention? Well, what does that person care about? The ideal person, right? Because you also don't want a person that is shoving McDonald's down their kid's throat, because chances are that's not the person that's going to come and work out at your studio. They're not really focused on nutrition being a key component in their life. You want to make sure that this person actually cares about fitness enough to pay for you for a membership. So I know my wife is a perfect candidate for that type of buyer persona, for that customer avatar. My wife is 33 years old, she's got toddlers, and she does care about health and nutrition, and she's always constantly looking to get back into her prime. And right now I would say she's gotten there. She's been doing some great workouts. But after having her last child, that was a really, really big stress for her. So if that's who you're targeting, the stuff that got my wife very, very intrigued, the stuff that she was paying attention to is how to get my toddlers to eat more protein, how to make healthy breakfasts for your children, how to get your healthy activities to do with your child, fun active games to do with your children, how to get my child to eat more vegetables, right? So now when you're thinking about that, the mother that cares about doing fun, healthy activities or getting their child to eat really healthy, wholesome food, that mother has a child that she still has that influence over. If the kid's 14, 15 years old, I mean, at this point, if she doesn't have it now, it's a lost cause. He's doing whatever the heck he wants. But when she's looking into that stuff, that means she still has influence. That child is still young enough to where she has influence. So you're targeting on that. Plus, she cares about those things, so that's really great for you, right? She invests the time and money into making sure that her child eats healthy because she believes in that as a core value. So now that you've got that, you write that content and you put it out. Okay, so what do we do next? So there's this really amazing thing that you can do now that you weren't able to do years ago, which is called retargeting. So in Facebook, and you can do the same thing on YouTube as well, and Instagram's owned by Facebook, so you can do this for both of those platforms as well, you can create what's called custom audiences. Here's the way this works. When you're in Facebook, you'll see in your Ads Manager platform, you can click on the top left and click on Custom Audiences. Now, for those of you that are necessarily not running ads yet, this is something you can Google, how to create a custom audience. But I'm going to tell you the philosophy of it, the technical stuff you can Google. It's a step-by-step thing. Facebook wants you to know how to do this, okay? But when you create a custom audience, you're going to say, okay, I want to create a custom audience and I'm going to label it appropriately. And I'm going to say, mothers of toddlers that are health focused, right? And so now you're like, all right, everything that I'm going to create is going to have the goal of getting that person, that demographic, to want to learn more about what I'm talking about, and then put them in here if they show a good level of interest. And here's what those levels are. Number one, if anybody clicks on it to learn more, right? So if they click on the video to watch more, or if they click on the blog that you posted to learn more, anything like that. If they click, immediately they are entered in to this custom audience, because we can assume the 18-year-old kid, guy that's in college, has no kids, that's eating pizza for breakfast, that guy probably scrolls right through that thing, right? Now, obviously in targeting, which you're using, he's filtered out, but the point is, you're not only filtering with the targeting that you choose in the ad set level, but you're also targeting because people that just aren't interested, they're going to roll right through it. The people that are interested click, and now they go into that custom audience. This is important because you're going to run ads to this group later. You can also say, hey, not only do I want to make it so anybody that clicks to read more or watch more, but if I have a video that I uploaded in an ad on Facebook, anybody that watches 10 seconds or more, that's a good number because that's almost twice as long as the average watch time. The average watch time is 6 seconds on Facebook. So 10 seconds is actually a lifetime if they're not interested. Why would somebody watch 10 seconds of a video when there's so much more to see if they're not interested in this topic, right? So you want that. Anybody that watches 10 seconds or more of this video, you can tell Facebook when creating that custom audience, here's a video, anybody watches 10 seconds or more, add them to the custom audience as well. So what happens is, with the content that you're creating that's valuable to the person that you want to attract and get to like you and start trusting that you know your stuff, now you're collecting them into this custom audience. And now that you're collecting them in this custom audience, as it starts to build, and even right away, you can start running your offer ads to these people. So when you're offering a free week or a 30 for 30 or a free session or having an event or whatever it is, this is a really, really good concentrated audience that you can ensure you're going to have a higher return on than a broad audience and you don't know who's in here. This is an audience that showed not only some level of interest in what you're talking about, but also saw your brand and was able to connect the dots on the second go around when you run ads to them again, right? And so it takes 11 times to build a brand. So I have like 12 different videos running and in one ad set. In one campaign. And so anybody that watches 10 seconds or more of this immediately goes into here. And then I have a bunch of videos in here. Now you don't have to have 12, you can have 1, you can have 3, you can have as many as you want. I recommend just every time you make a new one, just add it to there and then just keep on collecting more and more people into this ad set so you can start getting in front of the right people more often and the wrong people less often, making your budget a lot more efficient. You could use this example not just for the mothers, but same thing if you're targeting people that have really bad metabolisms or metabolism drop down in the 30s. I mean, you can write content like 10 foods 10 foods you can eat to boost your metabolism, 10 ways to effectively increase your metabolism, 3 foods to stay away from if you have a bad metabolism. Right? There's so many things you could do. Metabolism hacks. There's so many things you could do in order to draw the attention of that ideal person that fits in well with your program to get their attention and then eventually run ads to them. And that's what you're going to want to do. Okay, so how do we find the right type of content? Like we talked about how to get your toddler to eat more vegetables and how to get your toddler to have a healthier breakfast or fun activity. How do you come up with those ideas? Well, number one, you can ask your members, right? What is it that you guys care about? If you could fix something at home with health, what do you wish it could be? And you'll find that a lot of mothers will tell you, yeah, I got to get my child to eat healthier. Right now, all they want is chicken nuggets, french fries, and hot dogs. So if that's an issue, you know that's something that's a problem that you can solve. But another really great thing that you can do is use great tools that are online, free and easily accessible to you. For example, you can go to Google and type in Google Keyword Planner. Now, if you already have a Google AdWords account, you can just log in and start using it right away. If not, you can create one for free, and it takes less than 5 minutes. But once you're in Google Keyword Planner, you can type in certain phrases, and then it'll actually give you a recommended list of suggestions that they believe are similar to that phrase. So, for example, if I were to type in get child to eat healthier, Google might automatically suggest healthy diets for children, healthy breakfast for kids, healthy snacks for children, for toddlers, whatever. And you'll see a whole bunch of suggestions. And now you look at those, and to the right, it'll actually show you how many searches are done for these keywords on average on a monthly basis. And you start from the top down. Another great thing you could do is actually go to Google and start typing in your question, and you'll actually notice that Google will automatically auto-populate results that they think you're attempting to type in. So if you're on Google and you're typing in how to get my child to eat, and now you'll notice vegetables, meat, organic, healthy, fruit, whatever, like you'll see all those. And then when you type them in, see what type of content people are putting out, and then learn from them. And you can actually use the information on those blogs that you're reading and competing against to actually create a super blog filled with more ideas than you even had on your own. It's a pretty cool technique that I've actually used quite a bit in the past. I have my philosophies, my ideas, my stats, my research, but then I also use all these other pieces, and I even source them, and I make one monster blog on that one topic. It's a really good strategy that you can use to go ahead and get people in. Now, once you create that content, you want to make sure that you can get the most out of it. So throughout the content, you can weave in certain things like offers to come and check out your studio, or an event that you have coming up, or a number they can call if they have questions. You could also put related articles in that blog and tie it to other blogs that you've written. Same thing with videos. During a video, you can say, let's say halfway through the video, you're talking about healthy activity for kids is playing kickball in the backyard or dodgeball in the backyard, right? You could say, now just so you know, dodgeball might be something that could be a little harmful for your child if he hasn't really been active before, because he's throwing a ball, and depending on the right ball or the ball he uses, he may get hurt. So if you check out our other blog, or my other video, I actually have a list of recommended balls that you can use for all different sports that you can play, depending on the age that they are, to make sure that they not only have fun, but they have fun safely, right? So you can little by little get people in to where you are just the ultimate resource for them in having the goal in raising a healthy, active child. And so that's what you want to use. Okay, another thing, you guys saw me mention this earlier today. This booklet here, just like you, I've got a ton of questions that come to me every day. And over the years, they've piled up. And I've answered these questions so many times that I know the answers to the questions so well that I never have to go and look anything up, and I don't have to go and check my data. I don't have to go back and reread something to give them the answer. I just know the answers, just like you. If somebody were to ask you, hey, what's the difference between cardio and strength training? Which one's better? You can answer that question. Hey, what's the difference between good fats and bad fats, or good carbs and bad carbs, simple and complex? What's the difference? You can answer that. Why? Because you've answered that question so many times and you know it so well that you just got it up here. And so for me, this is a collection of questions and answers that I've gotten, a collection of what the top 5% of the fitness studios we work with, remember we work with over 1,000, of what they do and how they really scale their fitness studios up faster than anybody else. But I have this in here. I didn't need the book. Just like I'm giving you all this information right now without really reading off of anything or having to stop all the time, I'm just going. It's because all this stuff's living up here for years. You've got that too. With that, even though there's years of research in this booklet took me less than a day to write. It really wasn't hard. And I'm actually a terrible writer. I can't even help my 6th grade son with his English homework anymore. It's pretty bad. But I can definitely answer questions, and I can have people on my team review it for grammar and punctuation and all that stuff. And you could do the same thing. But at the end of the day, how could you write a booklet? In what way would a booklet help you? Well, let's say you live in Boulder, Colorado, and you can actually write a booklet. By the way, these things, not only take me less than a day to write, it took me only 91 cents per copy to print. It's very, very affordable to get these things up. But you can write how to be the healthiest person in Boulder, Colorado, or how to burn fat in Boulder, Colorado, Boulder, Colorado's fitness secrets, right? Something like that, that you can actually get out to all different places in the community, in restaurants, in martial arts schools, in daycares, wherever your customers or your prospects might be. And all you really want to do, again, is be omnipresent. Find ways to get in front of them, stay in front of them, and actually provide value to them so that they not only know you, but they like you, and then they start trusting you. Now, throughout this booklet, you can get this booklet. Remember, you can get it for free, but while you're going through the booklet, don't just go through it as a fitness studio owner that's going, man, I want to learn all these amazing secrets to market my studio, but also go through it as somebody that wants to go, can I really write something like this? And you'll probably find that you can. And you'll notice that throughout the booklet, I also share links in the booklet to get even more information, which gets you to really start knowing us more and more and start trusting that we really know our stuff. So you guys can do stuff like this as well. And you guys have probably heard like ebooks and all that too, but there's something about the printed ink that I believe is truly magical. And I think you guys can get a lot of value out of that as well. There's 3 ways that you can get traffic. And in reality, there's 2 in the top level, and then there's the next level. So the 3 types of traffic are purchased traffic, earned traffic, and owned traffic. Now, you can't own traffic until you either A, purchase the traffic, or B, earn the traffic. So what's the difference between these? So purchase traffic is what we just talked about earlier on in this video, which is I'm paying to get my content in front of people on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, whatever. I'm running ads. I'm paying to get in front of the demographic. Earned traffic is when you actually find a way to use your time, your resources, and your communication to actually partner with people that share a similar target audience as you do, and you want to get in front of them all in one shot, whether it's because they have a podcast or they have webinars that they do or they have a blog, and you actually find a way to get you, your brand, and your solutions in front of their target audience. So that's earned traffic. You guys, if you go online and you Google Loud Rumor or you Google Mike Arce, you'll actually see a ton of earned traffic of me on other people's podcasts, on other people's blogs, writing for them, whatever it takes, speaking on stages, having events. But now that you either buy the traffic or earn the traffic, now that you've got it, you've got to own the traffic. And that is the absolute best traffic that you can have if you use it. So your email list is absolutely the most valuable thing in your business. Okay, out of all the marketing assets that you may have, the reason it's the most valuable is because if you pay attention to trends, however long you've been marketing for, 10, 11 years ago, it was all about SEO. That's what businesses cared about. How do I rank to the top of search engines? Until SEO started changing a bit, and then it became Google AdWords. How do I still keep all the SEO results that I was getting, even with the algorithm changing? Well, you can pay for it, Google AdWords. Well, then Google AdWords, everyone was rushing to it for the exact same reason. It's a bidding system, so the cost per click outweighed the value of that click. And so people started moving to the next thing, which was Facebook. And in the beginning, a lot of people were like, my customers aren't on Facebook. So not everybody did it. Only the early adopting risk takers actually did it. And so then little by little, they started seeing their competition on it. And the late adopters are now jumping on. And so currently it's Facebook. And this is the powerhouse right now along with Instagram. But the next thing is going to come up. And that's the cycle of marketing. It's going to continue. Whether it was all the way back from TV, radio, billboards, signage, whatever, pigeons in the air. It doesn't matter. Constantly there's going to be a new thing. And so you want to make sure you're ready for the new thing. And the great thing about owning traffic, like an email list, is whatever the next thing is, you're likely going to be able, just like you do on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you're going to be able to upload that email list to take that audience with you to whatever that new platform is and spend efficiently on your marketing to stay in front of those people, as opposed to having to start from scratch all over again, learn this new platform and get in front of people and pay for it or earn it all over again. So you want to make sure that you're capturing. Now, the lists are more than just your email list. The email list is more powerful because you can upload it. So on a long-term protection standpoint, it's fantastic. But what's also really great is your prospect list. You want to make sure that you're constantly building up that prospect list, or people call it a pipeline. You want to build up your messenger list. So right now, if any of you guys are already doing chatbots, you've already learned how incredible it is and why you should have done this months ago. And anybody here that hasn't gotten on it yet, that's reluctant, hopefully that phrase makes you think, okay, I'm missing out and I need to do it too. And you are missing out and you need to do it too. So chatbots is fantastic. Text messaging as well, having your phone list so you can constantly text people. And then your retargeting list, constantly building that up so you can run ads efficiently to the right people without spending a ton of money. So you have to constantly keep building your list. So once you start running ads to people, and not just paid ads, but also organic stuff, when you're just posting promos, specials, or value content that you've got out there, you're going to notice people will start liking, commenting, and sharing your content. And liking, I actually should say reacting now, as there's love and like and thumbs down and mad and all this weird stuff now. But either way, there's reacting, there's commenting, and there's sharing. Now, I do notice that a lot of people will, if somebody comments, a fitness studio owner or the people that work at that fitness studio will reply to that comment thanking them for the comment. But I'm going to show you how I can take it a step further. You not only want to comment thanking them for their comment, but you can also private message them by hovering over their name, sending them a message saying, hey, just wanted to thank you so much for leaving that comment. It means a lot. I love that you liked our content on this. We like to take care of the people that, show love to our studio. Therefore, I'd love to invite you to come in for a free week on us or a free session on us, and we'll even do a full assessment for you and any friend that you want to come in and enjoy a workout with. Then you can go to the comment section, reply to that comment and say, thank you so much. I just sent you a private message with a cool little bonus. I hope you like it. That intrigue, and the reason you have to do that, by the way, is because not all messages immediately stay out of the spam box. In fact, a lot of times they will go into the spam box. So when you say them in the comment, they'll go look for it, find it in the spam box, and be able to go ahead and engage from there as well. But anybody that likes your content, you want to make sure you invite them to like your page as well as send them a message too. Anybody that shares your content, do the exact same thing. These are real people. Sometimes we forget. We think they're little digital dollar signs, and they're not. They're real people that are somewhere on their phone or on their computer watching your stuff, enjoying it, and liking it, and actually taking time out of their day to show you love by commenting, liking, or sharing. That's a real person. Engage with them like a real person would. Think of it this way. If you go to Nordstrom right now and you decide you're going to go look at a pair of pants or a jacket, the person's not going to just walk by you or say, hey, I like that you're looking at that jacket, and walk away. They're not going to just say, thanks for looking at the jacket, and walk away. They're going to come up and say, hey, can I help you find a jacket today? What are you looking for? We have great specials on this today. How can I help you, right? So you want to do the same thing with your content. Treat them like real people. Just because you can't see them, feel them, hear them, smell them, touch them, doesn't mean that they're not real and they're not right there for you to engage with them. Okay, the last thing, this is the bonus, is how you can spy on your competitors to see what they're doing. A lot of people don't know you can do this yet. Most marketers at this point do, but you can actually go to any competitor's Facebook page, and when you go to their Facebook page, on the left, you'll see a column, and at the bottom, when you hit more, you'll see it says info and ads. You can click on that, and it'll immediately show all the active ads that they have running. Now you can see all the competition in your area, what ads they're running, what offers they're running, what content they're sharing that's getting the best engagement, what people are actually liking, what they're into, how they're running it. And you want to learn from your competition, not so you can copy them, but so you can do it better and or different and actually find ways to leverage their information to make yours even more super powerful. So this was part 3 of 3. For those of you guys that haven't seen part 1 of 3 and part 2 of 3, go back as we dove in deep on how to create ads and how to create landing pages and how they all work together in a funnel. We also talked about the difference in Google AdWords and YouTube and Instagram and all that. And today we obviously went a little deeper. And so those of you guys that have good marketing knowledge can immediately know how to implement all the stuff I talked about and are probably grateful for the strategy. For those of you guys that haven't really gone on the back end yet, you're really going to want to dive into 1 and 2 and then come back to 3, and I think you'll appreciate it even more. So again, you can get my free copy right here of Fitness Marketing Secrets. All you got to do is go to fitnessmarketingsecrets.com. It's 100% free. All I ask is that you pay for the shipping, and we'll get it out to you, and we'll also provide some really cool bonuses if you look on the page and you get it today. So fitnessmarketingsecrets.com. Hope you enjoyed today's training. If so, go ahead and like, go ahead and comment, go ahead and share, send me a message, and let me know what you thought. Thanks, and we'll see you in future trainings.